Come join Libby, Molly, and Tiffany, the ladies of Consignment Chats, where we talk about all things consignment.
Hey y'all, welcome to episode 16. Today, we're going to chat about a subject that people ask questions about on a regular basis. And the other thing about the questions is that everyone tends to have different answers about the questions. And clearly, there's a good reason why there's so many multiple answers, because everybody's situation can be very different based on their location and what they're doing and where they are. So today we're going to highlight some common struggles, share some tips and tricks, have some fun chatting about one of my favorite subjects, photography.
This is great.
Ready? Are you ready?
Look at say that was cute.
Say cheese. So I think we should talk about some of the most common questions. And Libby had a great quote for us to share that goes along with this to get people ready for it. Do you want to share the quote, Libby, or you want me to?
This is one that applies to so many things, and it keeps making it up into my kitchen quote board like probably 2 or 3 times a year when I change it. And it's Theodore Roosevelt, and it is do what you can with what you have where you are. And I think that speaks volumes. So like, if you don't have the perfect photography setup, I get it. I mean, I didn't, I'm just setting mine up after 9 years and getting it like professional looking. And so you just need to get started and get things listed. It doesn't have to be perfect to get started. So please don't let anything we say today hold you back from getting started. This is just to kind of boost you up along the way. Tiffany and Molly are helping me with my photo setup. So I truly appreciate that, because they are definitely more expert in photography than I am. So I just wanted to share that with you. And
don't get overwhelmed. I like that, because, that being said, just do it. But there's always things that we can benefit from with tips and tricks from people that may or may not work in your space. Everybody's space is different, whether you're in an apartment or you have, like I have, a lot of natural light coming in my room here. Everybody's got different situations, so everybody can learn from what each one of us does along the way. So when we're talking photography with any of these platforms that people use to sell, I think we can all agree that the number one goal is bright, clear pictures. Correct?
Yep. The brightest, clearest you can get them.
Yep. So there's all different ways to do that, and all different advice that we have on that. Should we start with that part first before we get into how many and all that kind of good stuff? Talk about,
I think so.
The different ways to do it. Okay.
I think your first goal should be to have bright, clear photos. And one of the things that keeps coming up over and over again is the white background. So,
and why is that?
So it isn't a requirement. Like we sell primarily on eBay, and it is definitely not a requirement. However, eBay and other platforms feed items to Google, and Google will choose the photos with a bright, white, clear background over other photos. And sometimes things are even rejected from Google. And as we know, most people start their shopping on Google, right? Who hasn't done that? You type in, I'm looking for a, whatever it is, widget. And the ones with the white clear backgrounds are going to show up first. So that is the primary reason that people are moving toward white backgrounds. I can't use it with all of my items. I mean, some things just don't show up well on a white background. It's not really going to hurt you, but you have to consider, and it's not required, but you have to consider the fact that it may not show up on Google highest in search. So that's where that is all coming from. And there are a couple of different ways you can use background removal. Molly, Tiffany, you guys want to talk a little bit about that?
I got lots of different. I mean, we know eBay has, in eBay now, they have a background removal tool. And it's nice because you can pull that right up and just click to take it off, and boom, there's your white background. I do have some recommendations on that, though. I love doing it we always laugh because we have a couple of different people with us that list and they worry about their backgrounds. And I'm like, look, just put it up. I'll do it later. I find it very relaxing to go through our listings and pull up ones that Libby may have done and just didn't have time to do the background removal. And I'll lay there while I'm watching TV at night and just remove the background. It's like my creative art. I love it. I know it's weird.
Like coloring, right? It's kind of like reverse coloring. It can be very relaxing if you like that kind of thing.
I love it. So I love it. But my advice to make it easier on you, if you're not somebody that loves it and you are using the eBay app to do it, make sure you photograph on a contrasting background. If it's not white, that's fine. But don't take a brown leather purse and put it on a brown wooden table and take the picture, because without a distinct difference in the background, it makes it very hard for that app tool to differentiate between what is the detail in the purse and the wood background. So even if you take that and put it on, say, my blue background and put a brown purse on it, it's going to have a much easier job pulling that background out and leaving the important detail in. So that's something I always say. If you don't have a white background, that's fine. Pick a color, any color, just make sure it contrasts what you have. There's a big difference between them, however you work it. Put white on navy blue, My other suggestion.
You also don't have to. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
You also don't have to do the background removal on every picture. I mean,
yes.
If you just do the first picture, that's good.
Yep, that is correct. I like that. So the very first one, that's your main photo, have it on there, but leave the others as is. Sometimes my perfectionism in me gets into doing them all because I just do and I'm weird. But anyway, there's another tool that you can use if you're a Canva junkie like I am and you use Canva. Canva is another one. Their background remover tool is actually more powerful. And so there have been some high-end or specialty items that Libby had this beautiful clock at one point, and it had a lot of detail in it, and it had to be shown the right way. It was just stunning. And so I took it and loaded the main picture into Canva, used their background removal tool, and then replaced it back into eBay. So they do a much better job with fine detail if you have Canva and you want to use it.
I couldn't have done that on the eBay. I tried on the eBay app. It just wasn't, it wasn't into that fine detail like that.
And I wouldn't take the time to do that with everything, but if you have that specialty item that you really want it to highlight, an eBay tool just isn't working well. And then my end all be all, I have another term for it, but we keep this family friendly, so I'm not going to use it, but I love this new app. In fact, I love it so much that yes, I purchased the whole annual purchase on it. I did it.
You did?
I did. I paid for the whole year to have the pro, but it is Photo Room.
Did you too? Oh my gosh.
Yes. And I don't like to pay for apps, but I usually use the free versions, but I actually paid for Photo Room. I love it so much.
Photo Room is worth every penny. Now, keep in mind, if it's not in your budget right now, these other tools are great. Please do not feel like you have to.
It still works pretty good free. I mean,
yeah.
I was using the free.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I even taught Nick how to do it the other night, and he was clicking through, and Nick always goes, I don't like to take pictures. You do such a good job. It's your thing. Because I have always been a photography buff all my life. But I said, no, trust me. Just look at how you do this. Just use this tool and take them. And he was like, I feel like a professional photographer. Look at my picture. I'm like, I know.
Well, I want to try the pro version.
It's an amazing app. So Photo Room, if you really want to get into more, it's so easy to learn and so easy to use. And to me, so far, Tiffany, it sounds like you're in agreement, is by far the best photo editing removal tool that there is.
So how does it differ from Canva?
Well, number one, you can take it right from your phone into the app and immediately it removes it, and then you just save it into your photos. So like I did a bunch yesterday and just had it, took pictures of my mannequin. As soon as you say, yes, I accept that photo, it scans, takes all the background out, and then you open it up and save it into your photos on your phone. So then when I was ready to list, I just airdropped everything onto the computer and threw it right into eBay. And it was every picture had a beautiful white background.
It also gives you different options for different backgrounds if you wanted to like dress up your background or use like a wooden board background, or like for social media.
For
like
social media, yeah.
If you wanted to like, you know, I've done that before too. Like I took a nice leather jacket and then I put the wooden background behind it and it looked really good for social media, you know, stuff like that. So
it does. There's so much you can do. You can add wording to it and, you know, brand names and things to it. And I love it. I love it. My other quick tip that I learned that I think taught you, Libby, was, a lot of you probably have the same thing. We do our pictures, or at least I do, Libby does, off of our iPhones. So when you're doing a black item or a dark blue item with a white background and you go to take that picture, a lot of times you can't get the true black or blue color. It looks very gray or light and washed out, and just the light reflects off of it wrong. So I learned a trick. If you're holding it and you touch your screen, just tap your screen, but tap it not on the item, but your background behind the item. It puts that focus there enough that the black color comes out then, because it's not focused right on the item. And depending on your item, I have never found an issue. It still stays focused, that it shows your dress or top or whatever you're doing beautifully. But if you just touch the white background, all of a sudden that gray turns into the true black or the true navy. That's my other little
That was such a good one. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It does help.
Holding that one out on me. I didn't know that one. That was good.
I'm sorry. I was waiting.
I didn't know it until recently. I didn't know it until recently. No idea. I never knew that. No.
Yeah. Yeah, it really does help, because that black navy blue can be really hard. You know, no matter how proper your lighting is, it just off the phone sometimes just doesn't work well. So
now, do you use it's Photo Room is an app only, right? Neither of you use it on the computer. You can't really use it on the computer.
I haven't looked into that. I just use everything. I'm a phone girl. Yeah, I love my phone. But we can link that up. Yeah. We'll definitely link it up here so that you guys can see. But it's the best thing ever. So, all right, we've got our how we're going to take it. You know, you're going to use whatever you use. Back in the old days, we used our cameras, had to load them into the computer with a true camera. Now we can use our phones, our iPads, whatever makes you happy. A lot of the real cameras now will just airdrop into your computer. Mm-hmm. So, you know, easiest thing is your phone. You've got that. You go to do your listing. How many photos do you ladies, Tiffany, when you do a listing, photos, how many do you do when you're photographing your item? How do you decide your photos, angles?
I do a lot.
Yeah.
I do like a front shot, of course, the front, and then I do a zoom in on different parts of the, like if there's things, you know, buttons or special design that you want to zoom in on, then I turn the mannequin sideways, do a side shot, then I turn it around and do the back shot, and then I do it like a zoom in on the back. And you know, like I do a lot, and then I will take it off the mannequin, do the tag, and then I also do the care tag. I do all the tags, just and a lot of that is also because I have someone else helping me list. And so when she looks at the pictures, she doesn't have the item in front of her, but then she's got all the pictures.
So she'll be able to
see. And then if I have to measure it, I'll do that. I'll take those pictures. So sometimes I give her, you know, a lot of pictures. You know, it could be up to 18 pictures, but not all of them will make it into the listing. But that's just because I need to give her all the information like she has it in front of her.
That makes sense.
But I mean, we do tend to use like, you know, the 12 that eBay allows.
And how many on Posh? How many does Poshmark allow?
Poshmark up to 16 now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And video. Video.
Yeah. But then there's other.
I got a message from eBay saying they're going to be adding a video component soon.
Didn't they used to do video at one point, eBay? Why do I feel like at one point
there was a brief period of time? Yes, I do remember that there was.
You used to be able to put some video in the description. Mm-hmm. But it depends on the app you're using. I mean, Depop only allows 4 pictures. Okay. So like, you know, so I mean, I just tend to take a bunch and then we just use whatever will go in to the different sites.
Libby, how about you?
Now, I've heard on, I believe it was on the eBay for Business podcast, that if you have more photos, you have more chances to rank in search. They did not specify whether that was an eBay search or whether that was in Google search or kind of what that was, but they did talk about the more photos, the higher you can rank in search. Some things you just can't get 12 pictures of, right? I mean,
Well, you could, but they'd be
you
repetitive.
could, but they'd be repetitive, right? So there's always that debate, like, do I just put the same picture over and over and over and fill up the 12? And, people fall on both sides of the fence with that one. So what I heard somebody say, and this was also on the eBay for Business podcast, it was a caller that called in, and they said their rule for photos was pretend, if you're not sure how many to take, pretend you were in the store holding the garment, the item. What would you look at? What angles would you be interested in? What details would you be looking at? And just pretend you're shopping for that item and, make sure you get all those angles. I think more is definitely better.
Okay. So
It's definitely hard. Sorry.
Go ahead, Tiffany.
No, go ahead.
It's definitely hard to get a lot of pictures, especially if you have something that's like a new in the package that's sealed.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you're only taking a picture of the box. I basically just keep turning the box around, take every little angle, but there's nothing really you can do. You're limited to about 4 or 5 pictures.
Right.
So I just do that, or I'll zoom in on the writing on the box, to gives more information. But there's, you can only do what you can do.
Yeah.
Everything's gonna be different. So.
Yeah. And I do mine very differently. I typically with clothes am 3 to 4 pictures done up. It's just the way I am. I think when we first started, I used to have very beautiful, and I make sure they're very clear and very beautiful. But nowadays I feel like people can zoom in so much on things and see the finest thread that with clothing, I am very much 3, 4 pictures done, 3, 4 pictures done. Perhaps the algorithm that you heard and all that about 12 pictures on the search is true, but I'm selling fine. So I guess I can try it and see if I end up selling double what I am, but I'm not, my sales are good and I just get them up. But I am different when it comes to handbags and shoes. Those I'm very much typically get 10, sometimes fill all 12 in, because I think there's so much to be shown in a handbag and in a pair of shoes. So I do a lot more for those, but not as much on my clothes. Sorry.
Yeah. Here's an interesting thing. And I've gotten questions like, even though I would put in the item description, the fabric I'm going to use clothing as an example here, the fabric content, if there was a style number of an item, I put that in the description. People have asked me for photos of the tag that says that, and I go back and take the photos. So I've started adding in those photos when I take it as well, just the actual tag, the fabric content, and the style. Because even though I've had it written, they want to see the picture of it.
They must have been burned. Somebody must have put the wrong fabric in something with them one time.
Why did I take those then?
Yeah, I haven't had that, but yeah.
Oh, now that I said it, you're going to.
Right?
I'm sorry.
Hold on.
I didn't jinx you.
Dadgum you. Yeah, I haven't. So the other thing that we can talk about, we all do things very differently. One of the things I wanted to talk about, and I'm going to actually add it to this in this spot here, is Flatlay. My big pet peeve is pants on a hanger. I don't think it's an attractive picture. I think Flatlay is the way to go. Yeah. I have Libby laughs because I send her pictures all the time of items from a hanger and go, who would buy this? Who would buy this? Like, it just doesn't look right.
That was when Molly was teaching the girls and I photography and how to photograph different items in the store. And it was, I'm going to confess, it was one of our items she brought up as a bad example.
I did.
And she showed us all, and she goes, now, if you were to, like, what would make you, and she pulled up the photo of these pants hanging with like the saggy butt and everything. She goes, like, seriously, what would ever make you want to buy these pants? And it was such a good visual. I wish we had the photo.
Oh my gosh.
Such a good visual. And we were all like, oh, You're
That's
right.
horrible.
Oh my
That's horrible.
gosh. Yeah.
You want them to look nice, and typically flat lay on pants and things, it's just a much better look. And so it's finding that spot. And I'm going to tell you real quick what I do. I am lucky enough to have a very large white island. And so I'll pick a day and I'll take everything flat lay and I'll do it at one fell swoop. I'll get the ladder out so I can climb up on the ladder and shoot down on the island. I
You
get
do?
it all. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You'll see in the
Oh,
video.
my.
When I attach video, you'll see it. No, I bring the
Oh.
ladder in from the garage because sometimes you have to get up there. But I just will have like a Saturday and say, okay, from 9 to noon, I'm just going to knock out all my flat lay pillow shams, curtains, pants, long skirts that need to not, then don't look right on the mannequin or whatever. And I do them all and just knock them all out and just flip through them all. So I find that easy. And I was thinking about it, like, what does the person without the island? I always like to have another idea. If I'm in a hurry and I just want to get something up that's a flat lay, I actually have a yoga mat back here because I do my stretches in here in the morning, and I will lay it out on the floor and just put the pants on the yoga mat and hover over it with my lighting over it and snap that, because once you remove the background, it doesn't matter. So I'll do them on the yoga mat, and I'll do shorts and flat lay things on the yoga mat. But those are my, I find photographing those like items in one mass moment is so much more time efficient.
I've done that. I used to do that too. When I would set up a table in my dining room, I would get out a step stool, climb all the way to the top, lay it down, do the things. And I tell you, by the time you're done with all that, your back hurts.
And your rear end's burning because you're using those muscles, stepping.
You're leaning over and you're like trying to get it over.
Oh man, it's a workout then.
It
I don't
is.
do that.
It
I guess
is.
I need to add that in.
It is.
I mean, even the days when I used to, set up the thing and spend a whole day photographing, because then I had to take it down. The whole day photographing. I mean, not only does it kill your phone in just a couple hours, you have to keep charging your phone, but also it's a workout. It really is. It's like, oh, my back hurts. It's bad. It's hard. Yeah, it's a lot.
That's kind of why I like the getting up and down off the ladder, because I feel like I'm not in the same position. I'm up, I'm down, I'm moving around, I'm grabbing the next item. So it is a full body workout. Like tuck in the core, suck in the belly button, like it's a full body workout. We're talking about workout again, girls. I think we just talked about working out muscles on another episode. What do we
storefront one?
What do we think about the people that take the pictures of the items on the floor?
Item on the floor
with it?
I can't. That's why I put it on a yoga mat.
Right.
Yeah.
The yoga mat's one thing, but I don't know. I would have a hard time, and I think everybody's different. If you take the background out, you don't know, but I don't want to buy a fancy pair of pants that somebody threw on their floor and took a picture of,
I did a lot of photography on my hardwood floors, because it was just the only flat surface I had available at the time. Now I have a large table that I do it on, but
Your table's awesome.
Almost all of it on the hardwood floors because that was the only surface I had.
Yeah. And I think there'll be people like that, but I think there's so many things you can do. Throw a sheet down, yoga mat. There's all kinds of things you can do. But the best is remove the background.
Right.
Then it really doesn't matter nobody knows where you're photographing that. Nobody knows.
That's true.
So
that's true. I'm gonna have to go back and fix some of my old photos if I ever get the time. Nobody look at my old photos, please.
Stay off the website. What we're going to do right here is we're going to break you off and let you go peek at Tiffany and her photography setups and how she does different items. So y'all take a peek at this and we'll be right back. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Tiffany from Consignment Chats. This is my photography setup from everything you can imagine. So this is how I would do jewelry. One of the examples of how I have the small light box, and I have different, I have a bracelet holder and I have earring holders. and necklace holders that will fit in there for short necklaces. If it's a longer necklace, I put it on the mannequin. So that's that with a little ring light. The next thing I wanted to show you is my mannequin setup. And it's a little hard in this small room to get the full view, but my cameraman will pan up and down and show you. I do have the mannequin on a box. For most things, it works okay. That way I can make the mannequin shorter also, but this is a long dress. So I had to make her very tall for this one. What I usually do, can you see over here? What I usually do is put my camera right in here and try to just take the pictures from here, and then I'll turn the mannequin and come back and take the pictures. There's a holder here for my phone, but I don't use that because I like to be more mobile with my phone when I'm taking the pictures. When I want to do table work, I would just lower the lights a little bit and move them over here, sort of aim them down. The three lights, these two lights were here back when this used to be a desk setup. So I just left them there and I turn them on for extra light. But I do like to use my ring lights. So I will turn the ring lights around. These are very adjustable and they, can aim down. I love these lights I just got because they actually pretty quickly can fold all the way up. Be nice if they did it in one shot move, but they don't. But it doesn't take too long. To do this, and then it sits on the table, and then you can make it lower. Right, there we go. And make it aim down. I'm gonna break things. I turned it off. It's a touch thing, but you can use this to fill up a dark corner. I could actually put all the lights on the table if I wanted to get the table items. I do shoes, scarves, hats, books, any kind of home decor on this table here. And that's about it. My goal is to eventually have all the lights hooked up to one of those Christmas tree clicker things so you can just one button click on and click off. Maybe I need a clapper. But anyway, that's it. I hope you liked it. Now back to the show.
All right, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed that. If you have any questions, make sure you leave them in there. Just remember what you're going to do if you leave from here and photography's been weighing on your mind. Do not let it hold you back. Get that phone, snap those pictures, use the simple background remover tools, and just get it listed. Get it up there. That's all, right? Edit it on your phone and get it up there.
Yep. Keep going.
Send questions if you want to know any more details. Feel free to drop us some questions in our social media pages, community page. And speaking of community, Tiffany, what's been going on in our community this week? We've been busy.
Well, I put a poll up in the group this week about, so we could people could say where state or province or wherever they're from. And we have some people in Canada joining us, and we have, the map is really filling out. So later in a few days, I'll post the results of the new map and how many states we cover so far. And so we'd love to get you in there and add to our state tracking.
So cool.
And we have this great comment that I wanted to read to you guys from Samantha in our group. And it said, "You ladies have helped a lot already. My motivation is way up since I discovered you a couple weeks ago. You guys are much easier to relate to than most of the resellers I follow or listen to. Every podcast has been relevant. It's not always about learning new things. It's about having like-minded thoughts and processes. Knowing that other people share the same struggles and goals as me really helps. When one of you talked about dreaming of listing each item as the consignor brings it to you, that hit home. That's when I realized you were my people. Others can talk about death piles all day long and add the obligation that it's someone else's stuff and it changes the game. Plus, keeping track of inventory isn't just for easier shipping like most resellers. I just do this from my spare room, but I always have at least 20 consigners with active items. Our consigners rely on us for fast and accurate turnover, and most people don't get that. Thank you for being just like me, or more like the people I strive to be.
Oh,
It's you.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh. There are more people like us out there. That's why we did this, right?
We're not the only crazy people.
Honestly.
It just gets me. It just gets me.
Oh, Tiffany here, virtual hug.
I think we might have to have her on as a special guest.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. All right. I will have to ask her. Yeah.
We can do that as a spotlight. Yes, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yes,
all right. So guys, if you enjoy hanging out with us, first of all, click that subscribe button. Get us on your group. Give us that review. We love to hear the feedback. Clearly, we love sharing the feedback. We love Tiffany's cat.
This is Oreo.
Oreo just walked through. For those of you on podcast, if you want to see Oreo, you got to get on over to YouTube. Cute Oreo just came in. But if you guys love chatting with us and hanging out with us and want to find out all ways to connect with us, head on over to consignmentchats.com, and that's where you can find that information out. And until next week, ladies.
Oh,
cheers.
Get your cup. Cheers.
Where's your lipstick, Molly?
Oh, here. There it is.
I got some too.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Thanks for joining Libby, Molly, and Tiffany, the ladies of Consignment Chats, as we talked about all things consignment. To learn more and keep chatting, find Consignment Chats on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Facebook, and Instagram.